Hello and welcome to today's LOL Esports Roundup, where we cover a bit of news that happened in the last 24 hours, as well as MSI 2023. That introduction has been the same one quite a few days over the last couple weeks here, but that's kind of the deal. So news, Ultra Prime from the LPL. Yes, I think they were last place in China this past split. Have made some roster moves. Baolan is gone. Baolan, a former world champion, returned from retirement and is no longer with the team. He had a 2 KDA, 74.8 KP, 188 damage per minute in the support role. Played 12 champions in 37 games. I do believe Doggo and Baolan were the most consistent part of Ultra Prime, if you could even say that. More so Doggo than Baolan. Rosie Love is their LDL support. They had some mass success. I think these are split 2 numbers, which might still be going on in the LDL right now. I don't know how their split format works, but they're 10-10. And in those 20 games, he had a 364 KDA, 66.4 KP, 211 damage per minute, 10 champions in 20 games. So we look at this, and I mean, he does play well. I mean, in terms of supports, having a 364 KDA is pretty good. That means he's not diving in and just dying. He's more maybe playing enchanters and things like that on the outskirts. Not as involved, which makes a lot of sense in that KDA department with a 66 KP, 2 out of every 3 kills, where Baolan was 3 out of every 4. Of course, teams do play differently, but at the same time, I think that is something to note. Coaching-wise, Radis was sent to the LDL to coach the LDL team. He has only been a coach He's only been a coach in a major region for one split, which was last split, going 3-13. Fishball, his assistant, is now I don't know who their head coach is going to be. Fishball is the only coach still left on the roster, and that was also his only split as a coach. I wouldn't be shocked if he also goes to the LDL and they bring somebody else brand new into the team. But as of right now, that's what we have. Ultra Prime is a tire fire, so, they have made some changes. I think they have Forge in mid lane now, and they might make other moves. Predictions went 18-3 thus far, 1-0 today. I thought Gen G would win 3-1. They would sweep C9 easily. I thought maybe there would be a throw in there, kind of like yesterday, BLG and G2. And the fact G2 took a game off of Gen G, I thought maybe a throw was capable, and didn't really happen. Pays 14-3-15, 26% of damage. Very even damage spread on Gen G, as Peanut played Kha'Zix twice. He was my MVP, going 15-1-18. He also played Wukong to a lot of success in Game 2, which is kind of why I made him MVP. I thought Chovy played excellent also. Frankly, outside of Doran, everybody did very well. Fudge, 5-11-3, 29% of damage for C9. A lot of that coming in Game 3 on the Kennen, because he played Scion and K'Sante before that to little success. But in Game 3, he was the only thing going for C9 in the mid-game on the Kennen. So, this was a blowout. Just not good. Not good. I thought Berserker played timid, very passive on the Lucian in this series in a couple games, just really not in it. And when you don't play aggressive and you're playing on the back foot against a team that's better than you, outright, that is a problem. Like, you have to get after it. You got to punch them in the mouth early. You have to try and set the tone that you are not going to put up with any bullshit. And frankly, C9 didn't do that. I felt C9 just slowly died in every game. And it's why I always, give the VCS credit as a minor region against these major region teams, that they are willing to try things. In G2 as well, willing to try things. And you have to do that. Putting Eminez on K'Sante mid in Game 3 is a joke. Don't do that. K'Sante sucks. Frankly, K'Sante mid sucks. I'm not a big Kha'Zix fan either, despite Peanut playing it twice. Blabber played in the other game. Gen G get away with it, but C9 can't be doing that. Top lane, Fudge did solo kill Doran, I think twice in this series, and Eminez also solo killed Doran at one point. Like I said, I thought Doran struggled at times. Now, some could say he was trolling and this or that. I still think it's not a good look. If you were to pick something out of Gen G's series today, it would be that Doran struggled a bit at times. Bot lane, Pays showed up, obviously. I mean, 26% damage. This was a very even distribution. Chovy played Nautilus in a game. I think he played Nautilus and Ari in Vex. He played Vex in game 2. So, interesting picks. Honestly, in my opinion, Gen G were more proactive in that department than C9, and that's not good if you're C9. Like, you have to be willing to do something, and they just weren't, and it's disappointing. And from any way, shape, or form looking at it, you want teams to be willing to try something, and it didn't happen. They got blown out. Game 3, C9 were finally able to just started throwing crap at the wall and see what sticks in terms of making plays towards the end of the laning phase when they're already out of it, which is way too late. That should have happened in game 1 to kind of make it so that Gen G had to respect you, the fact that you were going to be willing to get after them instead of just slow playing games. Like game 2, there were only 2 kills for all of laning phase, a very slow game that almost ended up being a case where C9, outside of a Drake, were in a perfect game situation through the mid game. It was awful, right? You can't do that. You can't do that. A lot of people say, oh, you can't play early game comps and this and that. They'll just outscale you. And it's I'm not saying to play early game comps. I'm just saying you have to be aggressive. You can't wait until the final team fights, because these teams are going to out team fight you. That's just how it's going to be. So, just really, really not great. Not great at all out of C9. Yeah. Sneak peek, T1, JDG. So these two teams, some would say, are the top 2 in the tournament. I think that that's a valid thing to say. I know I didn't have T1 second in my prediction video. Somebody pointed that out yesterday. Now, I mean, they're capable of being second place. There's an argument to be made. I think there's I've said it throughout this tournament. All 4 Eastern teams, in my opinion, have a healthy chance of winning. I don't think anybody's a long shot or a dark horse, really. So that's kind of the way I look at it. The last matchup these two teams played was at Worlds. T1 would win 3-1. That was in the semifinals. We have 3 players overlapping. Zeus, Owner, Keria, 369, Kanavi missing. Obviously, Faker and Guma were on that T1 team, but Knight was with Top Esports, and Ruler was with Gen G. So there is differences in the 2 carry roles, which matter when you look at this. T1's trio went 41, 33, and 141 with 58% of the team's damage. JDG 31, 53, 72 for 53% of damage. So pretty close. Obviously, the losing side having worse KDA. I did notice that in the first couple games of that series, JDG did get out to leads in lane between these 3 versus those 2 or 3. The top side of the rift, JDG would get ahead. Now, in terms of this matchup, it's going to be electric. There's a big difference in mid. I think Knight is better than Faker right now. Faker is not what he was a few years ago, despite people being upset by that. Now, in the AD carry role, I think Ruler has an edge over Guma. Keria has an edge over Missing. I think Missing is very good. And then in top lane, we have elite top laners. And in the jungle, Kanavi's elite. Owner is solid. Very good player. So this should be a close series. I think a 5-gamer is definitely on the agenda for tomorrow after this quick 3-0. It's going to be very fun. So that's it for this video. If you liked it, like it, subscribe to the channel for daily League of Legends content. Follow me on Twitter, join the Discord, become a YouTube supporter, and thank you for watching.